Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coe Show. My name is Mason Coe, and I'm here as always with my co-host Aaron Coe.
Hi.
At Mason Charles Coe on Twitter, at Aaron Coe 29. Go ahead and follow us. Also, ebook on Amazon and the hardcovers on Lulu.com. And
We actually used Twitter this week. So
yeah,
if you looked and said why would we follow them, now you have a reason.
yeah,
We
exactly.
actually are
I
using the Twitter now.
yeah. Yeah, I did not. My Twitter game was not too strong this weekend. I'm not gonna lie, but also I haven't asked you guys to do this. I don't think, but go ahead and subscribe because
Yes.
yeah, it'd be cool to see that number go up a little. So
Yeah, it's nice we have some already, but you get a nice little reminder when we put something out.
and it's free, assholes. And you can always undo it.
That's right.
Yeah. So. Yeah, NFL Week 1. It came and went.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where we didn't want to bet on it happening until it did. So, really excited that it seemed to go off without a hitch. No positive coronavirus tests among any of the players, staff, refs, execs, anyone. So that's pretty incredible.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing
Yeah.
because they're not in a bubble like the NBA.
It gives me hope that, maybe we'll figure some shit out soon.
Yeah, for other sports and then just for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pac-12, are you listening? You can play football.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really good news, and I would say the better news is your Seattle Seahawks are 1-0.
1-0, baby.
Um
Soon to be 16-0.
yeah, yeah. Win, win, win.
Bye. Win.
Yeah, so it was, the least nerve-wracking Seahawks game I've seen in 4 years, 5 years maybe.
Yeah, wasn't really in doubt for a good chunk of the second half.
No, yeah, and when you look at the points, you might think like, oh, it's an ugly amount of points to give up. And yeah, Matt Ryan kind of did dot us up at times, but I think those are issues that we could figure out. Without a preseason, kind of getting in the groove of, and without a preseason and with Quentin Dunbar and Jamal Adams being added to the team, who we'll get into this more. Jamal Adams, looked amazing, but without having a preseason, only having a few of those scrimmages where they're not going full speed and they kind of know what's coming. There's going to be miscommunications. There's going to be broken plays and stuff, and there's going to be mistakes. And I still think that there were drives that they looked incredible, and there were some great third and fourth down stops. So I think, we got the Patriots next week, which seems, is always tough. But I think we're always a second half team anyway, second half of the season team anyway. So I think that'll apply even harder this season. Like I think this, the later we get into the season, the more polished we'll be. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought defensively, there's some stuff. I think the long term concern would be, still the same one we talked about before, which is the pass rush.
Yeah. Jamal Adams is our best linebacker, defensive lineman, and secondary player.
Yeah,
so
can we just clone him?
Yeah.
So there's some concerns with the pass rush. But as far as the points and yards given up, I mean, one of the touchdowns was when you had our two new DBs running into each other.
Yeah.
And then two other touchdowns were garbage time when you were playing dime.
Yep.
Which they struggled with that coverage. I mean, they gave up one at the end of the first half.
That was scary, but I still think that's a lot of new things. And not only is Jamal Adams new, but they're using him in new ways, which is really exciting to see.
Shocking.
Yeah, super exciting. And also on offense, they were letting Russ cook. Like this is what we've been wanting. This is like cyberbullying worked in this instance. like it's not good, but sometimes it just works, and sometimes it works for the better. And I think Pete Carroll legitimately got cyberbullied into running the team how Seahawks Twitter wants it. Also, I saw a tweet about this. Shoddy's in the booth for the first time, separated from Pete. Could that have an impact on how he calls the
He's
game?
like, "What, Pete? I can't.
Yeah.
What you said? Throw the ball deep? Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
can't. You're breaking up."
Genuinely though,
Yeah.
I mean that could very well have an impact.
I think anytime a coach has a season, they reflect back on the season. I think Pete went into the previous year just kind of doing what they've done. It's hard, and when you've had success, it's hard to turn away from what you've done. But I think he probably after the season looked back, and I do. Yeah, there's probably some. I don't think Pete is reading Seahawks Twitter, but you do get a sense of it when reporters are asking you questions.
Yeah.
Even if you don't read their articles, you know where they're going by the questions you get asked.
Yeah.
So I think that seed was planted, but I also think he probably looked back and said, okay, maybe using our base defense all the time didn't work like I'd hoped it would, and maybe we left some points on the table.
Yeah.
By being a little bit passive at times on offense. I think it's probably more that. I don't think he's probably I don't know that he has like a burner Twitter account
Oh,
and
Jesus. That sounded bad. I bet.
oh, I didn't hear anything.
Oh no, it was just don't worry about it. It was a spring on this
Okay.
thing. Just went right into the mic. Yeah.
So it was good to see. The let Russ cook thing. He threw 4 more passes than he averaged last season, and what I've said all along is let Russ cook isn't. It's not Madden football throwing it deep on every down. They came out and they threw. They attempted 2 passes, although he got sacked on the
11 of the first 14 plays were pass attempts.
Yeah.
I believe was the stat I saw.
Yeah, so
That's exactly what Seahawks Twitter's been calling for. A lot of first down passes.
now when he got sacked on the first play of the game, I thought, okay, let Russ cook people. You're gonna see more of that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a huge issue throughout the game.
I think it was Mark Schlereth had that take on Twitter, and then just got absolutely shit on for the rest of the game.
Right.
Got absolutely just shit on. It was so funny.
Because they did score on that drive.
Yeah.
A lot of times
and many others.
when he gets sacked on first down, the drive is over.
Because they just fucking like run or screen or like they give up.
Yeah, I thought there was more creativity on offense.
Shoddy in the booth.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Shoddy in the booth. Yeah, he's in the stew, cooking up.
They had some very creative screen plays, I thought.
Yeah,
which looked nice. Chris Carson looked good catching the football.
6 catches and 6 carries, more reception yards than rush yards, and also 2 reception touchdowns.
Yeah, he looked good. I guess the only complaint I have on offense is I don't know why Travis Homer is getting any carries.
Yeah, I don't know.
This isn't the end of last season, where there was nobody else other than Marshawn, with his cane out there. I think you could have given Chris Carson 3 more carries.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that they rotated a lot of guys. They really wanted to prevent cramping and other soft tissue issues that you might have,
which is good. I'm
with
glad
no
about
preseason.
that.
So I think that was good, but I don't know. I don't think Travis Homer is a guy that you want giving any meaningful carries to.
Even I'm worried that Pete is going with him over DJ Dallas just because he like kind of knows the system and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm okay. I guess I'm okay with that for maybe this week and next week. But after that, like, let's get our best players in there. Let's get our guys with the best potential in there. We don't need... And also, by the way, I say experience. This is like his second or third year, right? His second year. So it's not even like it's not even like he has more experience. And, our third string running back doesn't need to be like a polished guy. Like, we can afford to take a slightly bigger risk. And I wouldn't even say it's a bigger risk because he's already apparently a way better pass protector, already a better pass catcher.
Right.
And in a third string running back, I don't know what else we would really want out of him. Although I guess if we're fucking giving Travis Homer third down carries, like, I mean, I don't know. But,
yeah, I was surprised he was inactive. Yeah, I think it was just with no preseason. He just I'm assuming that'll change down the road. But hey, there are guys in the football game that their first time going against other NFL players in a real situation.
Yeah.
Practice is not the same as a game.
Yeah.
I don't care if they had scrimmages with referees. It's not the same. If any of you have ever played any sport, you know that scrimmages are not the same as a game. It's just not. You might try to pump it up that way. It never is.
No, it's not.
At least not for everybody. So anyway, I think it was just okay. Let's put Homer in there. We know he's competent. We know he won't make a horrible mistake. That could cost us a football game. It was probably just as simple as that. But yeah, I heard a lot of good things about DJ Dallas, so I would have liked to have seen him get a couple carries instead of Homer.
Mm-hmm.
We know what he is.
Yeah.
Maybe not even an NFL player or borderline at best. So anyway, but offensive line, a few concerns here and there. Brandon Shell looked pretty awful a few times.
Damian Lewis, I'm excited about him. I hope it's just not having a preseason like you were talking about. First time playing against NFL guys.
Couple penalties, got beat a couple times. I thought Posick, I don't remember him playing in the game, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
If your center, if you don't think of your center once during a game, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have done his job.
Yeah.
I don't remember him getting beat. I don't remember anyone saying his name at all.
Mm-mm.
I like that.
Mm-mm.
And Dwayne Brown was Dwayne Brown.
Yep.
Looked just top level left tackle, second tier anyway. Throughout the game. Probably the play of the game was the deep pass to DK on fourth down.
For sure.
I was surprised they went for it.
Apparently, Russ saw the defense celebrating and was like, "We got to go get these guys." Like, apparently that actually happened. So I'm glad Pete let Russ cook. Like that's the perfect. Like that's what we're talking about.
And I don't know if that really. I don't think they're letting Russ make a ton of those decisions, although that may have factored in. I mean, he must have at least been on the fence about it.
Yeah.
And then Russ saw the coverage and was licking his chops.
Yeah.
I'll take DK one-on-one. So DK beat him by several yards, and then a beautiful throw by Russ.
Yep.
So that was a great play. DK dropped a couple, which is concerning.
Yeah.
He had that issue last year. He's got to clean that up.
Yeah.
If he wants to be I think he has the potential to be a tier 1 receiver in the league.
I do as well.
But you got to catch the football, or you're going to lose opportunities, because you got to have a guy. You're going to throw to him on third down if he's not catching the ball.
It's
gonna
tough.
Be tough. So hopefully he cleans that up. Defensively, I thought Dunbar looked pretty poor at times.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it's so hard to tell what to, is it Dunbar not being good? Is it the lack of a preseason? I'm guessing working out maybe wasn't the top priority for him at times this offseason.
And he said that.
Yeah.
He said that he wasn't very focused.
I didn't. Yeah.
At some point a few weeks ago, he said that his diet was a little off and working out, just because he was so concerned about his situation.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't hear that, but I'm glad. I mean, I guess I'm glad that's the case.
So hopefully he'll clean that up. I thought, Shaq Griffin made a couple plays, but he also looked a little rough at times.
Mm-hmm.
I think those guys will be okay. But Jamal Adams, oh my goodness.
It was like his impact was felt early, often, pretty much every single play. Every single good play of ours. He was disrupting the quarterback, disrupting the receiver, getting a hand on a running back, or straight up making the play. He had 12 tackles, 2 pass breakups, a sack. And
other tackles for loss.
And 2 tackles for loss or something.
Yeah.
And what's not shown on that stat sheet is just the constant disruption, in every phase. I said it, and I kind of mean it. If we're just talking about game one, he's definitely our best DB. He's arguably our best linebacker, and he's arguably our best defensive lineman when
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
blitzing. Like genuinely, it might have been just because I was really excited and I was looking out for him.
I wasn't.
You weren't like looking at.
Not really. I wasn't really. I didn't think they would use him the way he needed to be used. I wasn't looking for him. He showed up. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't miss it.
Well, then fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's not. It wasn't just me looking for him because I I saw him on every play. Like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
play.
It seemed like he was involved in every play. Yeah. Yeah. He was outstanding. I was shocked. I'm still shocked that they. So there was a little. I don't know if you caught this or not, but a couple weeks ago there was a little bit of a thing with his former is it
Greg
Robinson?
I
No.
think
I get them
Greg
mixed
something.
up.
Greg
Yeah.
something. I'm gonna
His
say Greg
former
Bell.
defensive coordinator with the Jets basically saying, he's going to be bored in Seattle.
Yeah.
Because I use safeties this way.
Yeah.
And then Pete kind of shot back a little bit, a little
Mhm.
playfully.
Yeah.
I don't think he was, at least outwardly, he wasn't pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we like to think we don't make as many mistakes, and so what do you think about that, Greg? Like he said it that way. I was kind of surprised, and he was like kind of giggling when he said it. So it's just Pete being Pete, but that was kind of fun. But they did use him, and after the game, Adams said, "I wasn't bored," which I thought was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So he obviously heard some of that noise. But yeah, they used him. He was all over the place. They lined him up in different ways, had him blitz at different times. I was shocked, man, because I thought, okay, they're just gonna bring him in here. People are saying, oh, well, Cam Chancellor never sacked the quarterback, and I'm like, well, they didn't tell him to.
Yeah.
I thought so. They're gonna bring him in here. He's gonna sit in his zone.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have some big hits and make some plays, but we're gonna go. We'll look back at the end of the season and he'll have like one sack.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't do it that way. They did move him around. They were much more creative on defense than I've ever seen this team be under Pete.
For sure.
And I'm excited about that. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
So they let Russ cook and they let Jamal cook. I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
seriously, they're letting their best players play to their strengths, and and letting the other guys fill in the blanks. It's a long time coming at this point, so I'm really glad to see. And it's hard to say that, or it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't be convinced by this week.
Oh yeah.
How can you not? This is the first. This game felt different than like any Seahawks game I've watched. Like since Russ has been in that tier 1 category,
Right.
It's felt different than any Seahawks game I've watched, and it was, like I said, the the least stressful game I've watched, and the easiest game to watch, and the most fun game to watch, just as far as everything looked good. And so I hope and I believe that this will have convinced them to kind of go down this path.
It sure looks that way. And you never know what they did based on the opponent versus their general overall philosophy. Yeah. So there's still some things to be discovered.
Like Josh Gordon?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know. There's no clarity on when he'll be back.
Yeah.
I know he tweeted a couple days before the game, not this
not
week.
Yeah.
The little, what do you call it? The little palms
shrug,
out,
yeah.
Shrug, whatever. So it seemed like he wasn't sure what was happening. It seems like nobody does. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that. I'm still concerned about their third receiver. I'm not a big fan of David Moore.
No, I'm not either.
I was hoping Ursua would emerge, but they cut him. He's on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Which surprised me. So I don't know. Maybe AB's still floating around.
Jesus, man.
We'll see what happens there. I wouldn't be surprised if someone signs him. I don't know if they'll sign him this week, but nobody was going to sign him before week 1 because you have to guarantee the salary.
Yeah.
But now you can sign him, and basically it's like week by week. So
Yep.
you agree to a deal, and you can cut him and not have to guarantee that salary. So I think you might see someone sign him this week, or maybe they'll wait and closer to the end of his 8 week suspension. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what else do we got? NFC West.
Good.
Looked really good, and the Niners are the only team to have lost a game in the NFC West so far. So that feels good to say. Seeing the Rams beat the Cowboys. I didn't actually really watch that game, but
I watched quite a bit of it.
So yeah, I guess I kind of want to ask you questions about it then. First, did it look like the Cowboys might be frauds yet again, or did it look like maybe the Rams are having a bounce back season where we kind of wrote them off and they looked okay? Or both?
It was interesting. The first thing that the Cowboys coach
McCarthy,
first thing out of his mouth was the injury, so he was blaming injuries,
right.
And there were a couple. Vander Esch,
and their tight end, right?
Linebacker, and then their
Blake
tight
Jarwin.
Yeah, were injured in the game. There was a very, I don't know if you've seen this or how many people have seen this, but there was a play toward the end of the game, deep pass. The Cowboys receiver kind of extended out a little bit.
Yep.
When I saw the play live, I did not see pass interference.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the replay, I thought maybe that's PI.
People on Twitter did not seem to think it was.
And then when I saw it a third time, I'm like, he didn't extend. He didn't give that last little extension of his hand.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to get an offensive foul, it's not putting your forearm out usually.
Yeah.
Unless you really somebody.
Yeah.
It's usually you extend out and you see the hand rotate and push off.
Yep.
I didn't see that with this play. I don't have a giant problem with the call. I don't think it was a terrible call, but I do think it was bad.
It's funny.
Questionable.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a screenshot of just like it was like 6 tweets, and the caption was "Spot the defensive back," and it was like, "Oh, terrible call! Like I can't wait for the review to come out like later, and saying that like the call was wrong, blah blah blah. This call sucked. It cost Cowboys the game." And then it was like, "Great call," and it was like, I forget who it was. It was a former defensive back in the NFL. It was just pretty funny. But yeah,
who's the DB on the play? Their big stud that they just signed to a $25 million.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
So he did a great job. So when he did, there was arm contact. He did a great job of bending his head back, like kind of almost flopping, but his feet still kept moving at full speed. Like he did just a little head bob.
Yeah.
And sold it just enough.
That's like a lot of NBA players act like they kind of like took an elbow to the face.
It was kind of like that. So he did a really good job with that. But I don't think it was a terrible call. I wouldn't call it there.
Yeah.
I don't think there was enough to call it.
Yeah.
But he did contact him. He did push off a little bit, but it wasn't egregious enough to me. I don't think you want to be calling that in the NFL, or you're going to be calling back a lot of shit.
Right, yeah.
So I thought the Rams played pretty well. I don't think their offense looked very good. Again, I didn't watch the whole game. But I don't think the Rams are going to be that great. I think the Cowboys, I don't think they're going to be that great either.
Yeah.
We'll see, were those two heavyweights battling or were they two lightweights?
Yeah, it's impossible to tell. Also, with the Buccaneers and the Saints, that ended up being a really close game too. I was taking a nap during that. But...
I'm starting to like my Tampa Bay not making the playoffs prediction based on that one.
Yeah, man. Brady didn't look great.
He looked pretty bad. Pick
Um,
6.
yeah, and Arian said something like, "I was surprised to see Brady perform like that because, like, in practice, he's been so great," or something.
Wow.
But not those exact words, but along those lines where, yeah, it was a little sketchy quote, like, oh, okay.
Arians will air people out, and I don't think Tom Brady is going to like that.
The thing is, though, Bill Belichick kind of, like, Giselle said Tom Brady felt disrespected for a long time by Bill Belichick, so it's like,
I think Bill doesn't give anyone any credit, but he also doesn't single people out for blame a whole lot.
okay, yeah, that's a good point.
So, but Arians will flat out tell you,
Yeah.
he blew the game. I mean, say it that way, but yeah, Brady looked iffy.
I mean, the other thing you have to consider is it's their first game. It's against the Saints.
Yeah, and the Saints are really good.
The Saints are still a very good football team.
Yeah.
Like,
I picked them to win
also,
the Super Bowl. So.
Just like people, jokingly for the most part, were saying like, oh, the Patriots, like they're gonna be better with Cam Newton. It's like they're playing the Dolphins, and like they, I don't know what the final score was, but they were not up by a lot for a lot of that game.
Yeah.
So
it was a close game till the end.
Yeah. So the whole, it's kind of hard to really talk about these games because it's just we don't know what we saw. Like last year, the Ravens started like 2-4 or something. Like the Ravens started off terribly. Also, the who else? I mean, well, every year the Seahawks usually start off pretty bad and then get super hot at the end. Like, the Niners started off like 11-0, and granted they made it to the Super Bowl, but they like were losing games down the stretch there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really impossible to set a storyline here, which makes what we're doing right now really hard. But yeah, I mean, it's impossible to write off that team, obviously.
Yeah, it would be a mistake to write them off. I don't think Brady looked all that great last year.
I don't think he did either. I don't think
he looked good yesterday either. Mike Evans was a little banged up, but they didn't appear to be on the same page either.
Yeah. He only got like 3 targets and 2 of them were PIs, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see. But Tom Brady, at this stage, he's not going to dominate a football game.
Mm-hmm.
What you need for him to do is not make mistakes. And
he did.
Yesterday. So if he can clean those up, there's still a threat for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Speaking of mistakes,
did we mention that the Niners lost?
Yeah, the Niners actually did. The Niners did lose.
Jimmy G didn't look. Had a chance to win the game and didn't come through again.
Nope. Yeah, but
sorry, I interrupted you.
Speaking of mistakes, Ted Nugent. Not Ted Nugent, Mike Nugent. The kicker for the Bengals. Was about to give Joe Burrow potentially his first shot at winning a game in overtime. Yeah. Shanks a field goal, pretends that he's injured. Later, the injury report comes out that it was the other leg that he grabbed after he kicked it. And today it came out that the injury was nothing serious at all. So, that's an all-time, like non-athlete move, you shank a golf shot, you kind of do that with your shoulder.
It reminded me of little leaguers.
Yeah.
You make a bad throw and you're like, oh God,
man,
my arm.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was probably, man. I would almost cut the guy just for that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's he's been around for quite a while.
I think he's been around for a really long time.
So he's probably a pretty good player, but man, oh man, yeah, that was not good. Not good.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else really you can?
Why did the only question I have about that game is they had 7 seconds. Why not run one more play?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess
AJ Green.
Of a pick
wait, was it fourth? Do you know?
No, they could have run one more play.
Okay. AJ Green just got an OPI it was a touchdown, but it was called back for OPI. AJ Green's on
Yeah.
my goddamn fantasy team.
And that was
Now I'm
a
gonna
pretty
fucking
good...
lose tonight probably. So
that was a good call, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
That
I didn't
one
see
was
it.
a very clear push off.
I did not see it,
Yeah.
so I can't. Yeah.
He was basically standing in the end zone and just pushed the defender off and got a touchdown. It was
okay.
I thought that one was pretty clear.
Okay, so, can you think of any other games that you saw that really stood out to you? I mean, Devontae Adams went off.
I thought Aaron Rodgers looked pretty damn good.
I didn't.
For all the talk of his demise.
Here's the thing. I think the arm talent is still there, and that's probably gonna, like that. I think that's still been there, but I don't think he's as good as people say he is. I think he makes really good throws sometimes, but I think he puts himself in situations where he has to scramble, and I think I don't think he's not very, like super consistent, and when you look at the analytics side of things, I try not to use analytics just to completely write people off or completely boost people up in my mind. But it's like when you look at the analytics, like it tells you a different story of Aaron Rodgers, and I think people get caught up in the cool throws he makes, which he does make. He makes really cool throws. Like he does. Potentially, I might go as far as to say he's the most talented quarterback to ever play the game.
Yeah, with his arm talent, ability to throw on the run.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes could probably pass him for that soon. But yeah, I don't think he's, since like 2014. I don't think he's been that great. But regardless, he looked good. And I'm not saying he can't ever look good again either. Like he can't. I mean, he's always looked good. I can't say he can't improve on those analytics, but typically I'm pretty sure when your yards per attempt starts dipping as a quarterback, it kind of like it doesn't bounce back.
And maybe, I don't know. I think he's kept himself in good shape, but maybe them drafting a quarterback lit a fire under him. Yeah, true. He looked really good yesterday. Well, you're right. We'll see if that can continue.
That's an unknown impact as well.
And also get hit a couple times, and
also as a veteran, not having especially as a quarterback, this actually is interesting because I mean, I guess when you apply it to Tom Brady, it doesn't work. But with Russell Wilson and A-Rod, not having a preseason does not nearly impact them as it would a young DB.
Yeah.
Not even just a young DB, but anyone on the defensive side of the ball, because the quarterbacks just don't play really that much in the preseason anyway.
Yeah.
So, do you think that maybe four weeks down the road, like for the first 4 weeks or so, we're gonna see maybe some of the older quarterbacks performing really well, except, you can't really apply that to Tom Brady, so it's tough to say.
Right.
But will we see these older quarterbacks performing really well and then kind of maybe start to pull it back a little?
Well, there's a huge advantage this year to veteran quarterbacks who are in the same system they've been in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's any question about that. Just given the no preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I mean they're gonna get hit. Like Aaron Rodgers is gonna get hit, and Cam Newton looked pretty good, but he's gonna get hit.
Yep.
We'll see if they can maintain their level of play. The Eagles, yikes! They lost.
Jesus Christ, man!
The DC football team.
They looked okay there for a second, and they just melted down. I don't really know what happened. There was the Clippers game was on at 10 at the same time as the Seahawks game, so we had this double TV setup, but that meant we were flipping back and forth between like Red Zone and the Seahawks game. So I didn't. And when Red Zone was on, I wasn't paying a ton of attention, so I didn't see a lot from that game.
I'm starting to wonder, Eagles quarterback
Wentz,
if he's kind of a shot fighter. When they rushed him, he was like something like 1 of 8.
Oh, Jesus!
With a couple of picks or something like that. He was just awful. So I'm kind of wondering if he's just had too many injuries and the mental part's gotten to him.
Yeah, that would suck.
Let's see. The mustache boy beat the Colts.
Oh man, the Colts. Ugh.
It's a bad loss for the Colts. They
I
were,
hope I
a
hope
contender, really.
hope Marlon Mack's okay.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers did not look great, and I also my Colts fan friend did say he did not look good either.
Right.
So this isn't, even from a homer perspective. Yeah, losing to Jacksonville, man, a team that is supposed to be in contention for Trevor Lawrence this year.
Yeah.
That's awful. I had them at 10-6 this year, and I feel like a fucking idiot right now. I don't.
Hard to imagine.
I don't think they're if they're gonna lose to Jacksonville. I mean, at the same time, the Seahawks almost lost to the Bengals last year in Week 1. So
weird things happen.
it's hard to say. Again, no preseason. This whole entire podcast is gonna be no preseason, so we don't really know.
Yeah.
But based off what we saw,
all we have is what we see.
Yeah,
and that was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Ravens destroyed the Browns.
Not surprising.
I don't think that quarterback is ever going to amount
Baker.
to anything. Yeah. He continues to go downhill.
I think he's got 1 or 2 more years left to prove himself.
Yeah, they're gonna allow him to try to prove himself.
Yeah. Especially with a new coach.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for as far as the games. They've got a couple games tonight, of course.
Yep. Oh yeah. So what are those games?
So Steelers at the Giants.
Steelers
are favored 5.5 favorites over the New York Football Giants.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to? I do have my take.
Go for it.
Steelers by 10+.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are a good football team. I don't think the Giants are a good football team.
I have a funny so the 5.5 number. I definitely think the Steelers are gonna win.
Yeah.
That I don't like the 5.5 number a whole lot. So if I would not bet this game in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to bet the game, I would probably go with the Giants.
Yeah, 5.5 is a big line, even though I think they're gonna win by 10. I don't even know if I'd bet this.
I think it'll just be kind of a muddy game.
Yeah, it could be. That's the thing. Again, the no preseason thing. So it's like I say Steelers by 10. I would not be entirely shocked if they lose by 10 as well. So
yeah, I could see. I definitely think the Steelers will win, but the spread, that's unknown. They may win by 3. They may win by 24.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But so I wouldn't touch that game. So
no. I wouldn't touch any game for about 3 weeks, if we're being honest.
Yeah, there's certain things I might, but for the most part, it's really tricky right now. Titans Broncos. The Broncos the Titans are favored by 3 points.
Titans by 3.
It's at the Broncos. You got that tough Mile High crowd.
Give me the Broncos. Well, because I think if they're gonna want to run the ball, and I think the elevation is gonna be tough.
Interesting. I like the Titans.
I like the Titans, okay, but I'm taking the Broncos.
All right.
Who did the Titans play? Never mind.
I think with the Broncos are down a couple guys, including Von Miller. 3 points. I mean, they may win by 3 points. I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I don't think this game will ever really be too much in doubt. So give me the Titans, and I'll give you the 3 points on that one. I see the Titans winning by, 3 to 10 points somewhere in there. Kind of a bloody, ugly game, probably.
I could see that. My gut just said Broncos, so so I guess what's really only left is, what do you think about next week's Seahawks game? We got the Patriots. Obviously, the home crowd thing doesn't entirely matter, but where is it, just for comfortability?
I believe it's here.
Okay, so we are in our home setting, which, may or may not actually have some sort of impact, just being comfortable at home, not having to travel. Again, really hard to predict things right now. I don't know. Is there a spread for that yet?
It is in Seattle. It's the Sunday night game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I
So
forgot
it'll
it was
be kinda
Sunday
fun.
night. Let's
Seahawks
go.
are favored by 4 points.
4.
That's
Oh,
tough. That's
damn.
tough. I don't.
That's
I wouldn't.
quite a bit, man. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't bet that one.
I would not bet that game. My brain is telling me to definitely bet Patriots on that, but my balls and my heart are telling me to bet Seahawks. But yeah, no, I would. I think my official pick would be taking the Patriots on the points.
If I had to bet it, I would bet the Patriots and the 4 points and hope that I could be double happy with a Seahawks win by a field goal.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm predicting.
You know, Cam Newton looked like the Cam of old.
What'd I say?
Yeah, but how long? But we're playing him this week.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's not gonna last the season if they keep giving him if he runs the ball 15 times a game. He's not gonna make it through the season.
He wasn't. I didn't see him take very many big hits.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's running out of bounds and stuff.
He'll be fine. He'll probably be fine this week, but he's gonna get hurt if they keep running him like that. I just think 31-year-old quarterbacks. I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But he did look good. He looked better than I thought he would.
Yeah.
Looked good runner. Looked like basically like he always has when he's been healthy, running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Passing the ball, they didn't ask him to do a lot, but he did it pretty well. I think the X factor is pretty obvious, but it's going to be Adams. So,
yeah.
I'd like to see him. He may clean up the Cam situation. Running quarterbacks have hurt the Seahawks at times, but I think we have more speed.
Yep.
You're going to have Marquise Blair, who's going to, I'm sure he's licking his chops. He loves to hit guys.
Yeah.
And you've got
Quandre.
Adams.
Quandre lay a lick on some guys, too.
I think we have more speed in the second level than we have in a while. So I do like the Seahawks to win the game. I think we'll be biting our fingernails in the fourth quarter, but it's the Seahawks. So outside of last week, that's just the way it always is.
Yeah.
I'm always worried about Belichick.
Oh yeah, of course.
He's watching game film right now.
Yeah, he's not. His teams aren't dead until he's retired. So
yeah. So we'll see. I think I hope they continue to be aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. With Russ. I want to see essentially a copy paste of what happened. Obviously the outcome, but just as far as game plan and how we attack, play to our strengths. Don't try to make them play our game and make them try to beat Russ and shit and make them try to beat Jamal Adams. Yeah. So instead of trying to we gotta hope that we gotta hope that instead of trying to play into their strengths and trying to beat them at what they do, just do what we do. Yeah,
exactly.
Play our brand.
Yeah, play your game. I'm optimistic about it, but I still sweat the Patriots.
You always have to.
A lot of guys,
you have to.
Belichick is the Terminator.
Yeah.
He's not dead until the movie's over.
No.
The movie's not over for him yet.
Nope.
So let's see. I'd be curious to see if Carson gets a few more touches. He was out for personal reasons for a lot of the practices. So that may be why he had running the ball wise had a limited role.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I don't see Travis. I don't want to see Travis Homer getting any carries unless they're up. It's garbage time.
Yep.
I'd love to see Geno Smith handing the ball to Travis Homer.
Oh yeah, of course.
In the fourth quarter.
That'd be great.
That would be fantastic.
It'd be great. Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks good. They look good. They look like a contender to me. I don't want to overreact based on one game, as you said earlier. There's a lot can change. But they look good. A lot of things to be hopeful for.
Not very many times that they looked like a contender in week 1.
No, they usually come out. You're all excited.
Yeah.
You spend the whole off season. They added this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they're gonna let Russ throw the ball more.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. And then they just come out and lay a fucking egg. And even
they win by 1 to the worst team in football. Ends up with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they either lose or they barely win,
Yeah.
and you just people are roasting him even when they win.
Yeah.
It was so ugly.
Uh huh.
But this looked good. I'm very encouraged. Very hopeful
Mm-hmm.
about this season. I was gonna see if there's any other notes I wanted to clean up here. Dorsett injury is interesting. Apparently, he had a foot injury when they signed him that they didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how that happens.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anyone's saying when he'll be back, but I'd like to have that speed threat out there.
For sure, yeah.
Especially when there's really not a good third receiver option right
Mm-mm.
now. We don't know when Gordon's coming back. Will someone sign AB? Who knows?
Yep.
Just a little shout out to Russ. He is. There are only 2 quarterbacks in NFL history with 30,000 passing yards and 4,000 rushing yards in a career.
Mm-hmm.
He crossed both of those thresholds yesterday at the same time. Well, not exactly the same time, but the same day.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. He's also, I think he's the 6th leading rusher in Seahawks history.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
4,000 yards, a little over 4,000 yards. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
To be in that
sure,
category.
Man. Yeah.
No, I think that is pretty much it.
All right. Well, I guess with that being said, drop a like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Mason Charles Coe, at AaronCo29. Seeing that subscriber number go up, getting some likes, that would be really encouraging to, keep us going. We don't got plans to stop. We're just pushing the gas. This is actually, this show might end up being kind of something completely different from the Coe show, like still on the same channel and stuff, but it might be kind of its own thing. We don't know yet. We're just kind of experimenting. So
don't be afraid to take a shot at us too.
Seriously, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like if we're doing something that you think is a bad idea, tell us. That doesn't mean we're gonna listen to you, but
I'll probably tell you to fuck off.
Yeah. Or on the other end, if we're doing something you guys like, it's always good to hear that encouragement to keep going. So yeah, shout out to everyone that's still listening. Other than that, have a great week, and I think we'll see you Wednesday for the regular show, right?
Yes, we will.
Yeah. All right.
Go Hawks.
Yeah. Go Hawks. See you guys.